As we journey through these majestic landscapes, does time seem to slow, allowing us to soak in every detail, or does it rush by in a blur, as fleeting as our breaths in this high-altitude air? In Nepali, Na signifies pass, so when we say Thorong La Pass, it's like redundantly saying Thorong Pass, much like chai tea, naan bread, or ATM machine. Yet La holds a different meaning in my native Cantonese. It's a word carrying a multitude of emotions. For instance, if you ask me, have you passed your exam yet? I can respond with pass la, which can mean a triumphant yes, I have passed. Or it could convey my hopes and dreams, as in pass la, a fervent wish that I have indeed passed. It could also be a question asked in a nervous anticipation, pass la, indicating uncertainty, a heartfelt query. Have I really passed? Such is the power of language, of a simple word, la. It encapsulates my triumphs, my hopes, my anxieties, and my questions. And right now, my biggest hope is to pass. I hope I do. After our teletronic trek, we backtracked from Kharka to the direction of Manang to get back onto the ACT. Unfortunately, I got some bad news from home today. A close friend of mine was admitted to the hospital for a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which means bleeding on the surface of the brain. It's hard to be away from home all the time when these sorts of things happen. You are constantly surrounded by people, but none of them is your usual support system. And you are miles away with no network or reliable Wi-Fi, no way of offering support or even just to receive constant updates. That every time you are able to go online, you pray that nothing bad pops up. It's hard to act tough when you are constantly reminded of how fragile life is. As we walked, my mind wandered. I was overwhelmed with this sudden sense of helplessness, and I felt so distant from home. My heart ached for my friend and their family, and all I could do was offer my prayers. But life in the mountains goes on, and we had to continue our journey, carrying this heavy load in our hearts. The views along the way today is a bit lacking, so it's a bit more mentally challenging today. But we made it, and we are here halfway to a high camp. We are going to high camp tomorrow.
Let's do the unigam!
It was not a long day, but pretty mentally draining. I gave up on shooting after we have arrived at Ledar, cause there was nothing much going on outside. We spent the afternoon playing card games. It was a good way to keep my mind off things. I'm glad that my friend has passed through the critical stages without any neurological deficits. It's still gonna be an uphill battle for her, but I know she's gonna get through it.
94, Tyler. Vincent.
94.
94.
94.
Yeah.
Who's 94?
I'm not gonna believe you if you tell me you're tired today.
Now that we were back on the ACT, we headed towards our final goal, Thorong La Pass. But there was still something else on my mind. I was told someone called the GMC and they said exam results would most likely be available today, which was probably the worst timing, as today was the only day that Wi-Fi was not guaranteed. It didn't take us much time to reach low camp as it was mostly downhill. I kept on refreshing the GMC websites at low camp, where there were still pretty nice amenities with decent Wi-Fi, but nothing came up, which made sense as it was still early morning in the UK. But somehow the food got better the higher up we went.
So all the way up is exact, right?
A short but steep incline awaited us as we headed towards high camp. Seeing glaciers draping over the mountains, it felt like we entered a whole different realm. We were back at 4,900 meters high. We're at high camp and it's snowing. It started snowing when we got to the high camp. You know how much I love snow. It took my mind off the exam results for a while. High camp was packed with all sorts of trekkers. We all huddled around 3 large dining tables, some reading books, some playing cards, some socializing. It was cold. I headed over to the reception and paid for Wi-Fi, and I started refreshing the GMC websites non-stop. My God. My results are in. Passed my freaking exam, thankfully. And tomorrow we are going to do the Thorong La Pass. What a roller coaster ride of emotions this week. Now what? It looked completely white outside. Everything was so unclear. I didn't have much time to digest this piece of good news or to contemplate my future, as tomorrow would be another super early morning and I needed to get some rest.
Okay, tomorrow you guys, it's the last day. Let's smash it. Alright, let's have fun. It's gonna be, like looking outside right now, it's gonna be amazing weather. We're gonna have some good view. Everybody? Everyone heard me? Yeah. Alright, let's do it. Thank you.
Another super early day today. Today's finally past day. Let's go!
65, 66.
How are you feeling? Next SpO2 drops down to the 60s during last night's round. It truly fascinated me that our blood oxygen level could drop below 70% at a high altitude and the person could still be alive and kicking. I thought back to the days when I was working as a house officer in the hospital. If I ever saw a young patient with good past health previously on room air and the SpO2 suddenly dropped to 70%, I would definitely freak out. At this altitude, the oxygen level in the air is almost half of that at sea level. We literally got winded just by going to the loo. With our crampons on, we were once again setting off early and heading to altitudes we had not reached before. Everyone staying at Thorong La High Camp started early at around the same time, forming a long line of sparkling headlamps, slowly sneaking upwards. Oh yeah, remember the Himalayan Uber thing I told you about? He's not feeling that well.
No, I think I can walk it, but I need more hours. I don't want to be a burden of my team. So I guess that's the only way.
Yeah, he's gonna take the horse. Oh. See ya.
Hi.
As the mountains around us disappeared into the forming clouds, I remember I had only one thought, yearning to climb higher. And same as everyone else on this path, we were determined to reach Thorong La. I did not really look around much. Everyone was so laser focused on going one step at a time. This is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. 5,000, 5,200, 5,300, and 5,416 suddenly felt less unreachable.
We made it.
We're here. We made it. Maybe I'm stronger than I thought. Maybe I could just do anything I set my mind to. Maybe I have been living the dream life I have always been dreaming about. If these past few days taught me anything, it would be life passes by really quickly. So maybe I'll just focus on living in the present, doing things I love, and spending time with people I love.
Amazing, guys. Amazing, seriously. Well done. So proud of you, so proud of you. Oh, we did it! We did it.
And no matter how hard the path looks, remember, these too shall pass.
perfect